Hey YouTube, it's been a while. Back here with my squeaky chair. Today we're going to be doing a Internationals deck list. Yes, I'm going to the US Internationals. Actually, I'm recording this a few hours before I'm leaving. And my parents aren't home, and I thought this would be a good time to make the deck profile. So what I'm going to be using is metal with Magnezone and Dusk main, and I'm just going to go through it real quick so you can see what it kind of looks like, a preview. And okay, let's just start with it. So I'm going to be running 3 of these Dusk mains. It's a super good card. Well, okay, so first off, it's a basic with 190 HP, ain't too bad. And for 3 energy, it does 60. For 4, it does 220, discarding 3, which isn't that big of a problem, you'll see later on. And then into the GX attack, as if you're down on prize cards, it does 250. Basically, Meteor Tempest and Sun's Eclipse are going to be knocking out pretty much anything in the format. And it also has a nice resistance to Psychic, which can arguably be considered one of the best decks right now, because it hits Buzzwole for weakness, and that's its bigger counterpart. Next we got, we got 3 Searching Magnemite, and 1 of the solid unit one, which protects bench damage. I'm running a split because Buzzwole's a nasty attacker, and I'd like to keep this guy on the bench so it doesn't get hit. But I also like to have more of these ones because of its Searching Magnet attack, which allows you to search your deck for 3 metal, which can help you accelerate with the next card, which is going to be 3 Magnezone, so we're not using any Magneton. What this Magnezone lets you do is it lets you attach as many metals as you like during your turn to any of your Pokemon with Magnetic Circuit. It also has a nice attack for 4 energy. It does 130, but you can't use it next turn. But it's a decent 1 prize attacker if you have to go with it. Okay, so next with our setup is 2 Tapu Lele, pretty standard for its Wonder Tag. Go search your deck for any supporter. Also, Energy Drive is a really good attack in this deck. You can use it like better than some other decks, because usually with other decks you'd be like, oh, 1 DCE hit for 40 plus whatever you got on your opponent. But this, you can stack more than that amount of energy, like more than 2. You could do up to like even like 6 or 7. Not ideal, but it's optional. Next we got a 1/1 Octillery line. What this Octillery does is Abyssal Hand. Once during your turn before you attack, drop to 5. 1/1 line. This deck is like really tight on room. I don't know why I couldn't, like, it's super tight on room. And there's another thing I would have liked to change, but I can't because of how tight on room it is. Okay, so but that's your draw support. Next we got Solgaleo Prism. This is probably one of the best 1 prize attackers that you can ask for. Radiant Star for 1 metal for each Pokemon on your opponent's side. Get a metal from your discard and attach it to your Pokemon anyway, and then 4 for 160. Can't attack next turn. Really good attack. Amazing 1 prize attacker. But sadly, it is a Prism Star, so once it's gone for good, and you can only use 1 copy. Okay, next we got Mew, which is really good. This is really good in here because of a few things. So first of all, it has free retreat, so that's good. Number 2, we got Memories of Dawn, so we can use this 1 prize attacker to copy the attacks of my Dusk mains and smack things for a lot. And it also hits Buzzwole for weakness if I want to copy, I don't know, something like Claw Slash for 60 times 2. Or more effectively, Corona Impact on the Solgaleo. 4 for 160. Or if you do that, it's probably going to get knocked out, so you might as well just use Meteor Tempest, but it's a nice substitute if you don't want to risk 2 prizes. It's a smaller body, but hits for the same numbers. Last Pokemon we got here is Giratina promo. Greninja will probably destroy this deck. Haven't faced it, but based off of the looks of this deck, it will get crushed. It will turn off the abilities for you, so you can only manually attach, and then they're just gonna smack you around silly, and you're not gonna know what to do. So that's why you kind of have to have it in there. Okay, so that's for Pokemon. So next for supporters and items and trainers, we got 4 Sycamore. 4 Sycamore, it's your main supporter. You want to have 4 Sycamore. You just want to draw through your deck. Don't even care most of the time about what you're discarding. There's ways to get it back. So Sycamore is going to be your main supporter. Next supporter is 3 Cynthia. 4 Sycamore alone isn't enough to just draw based upon. We're gonna have to have some better draw support, and I'd say the second best draw support is Cynthia. I picked Cynthia over N because you're going to be taking prizes earlier on, and you're usually not going to want to be ending yourself down to a low hand and your opponent to probably higher hand. 2 Bridget can help with setting up the deck. Ultra Ball to Lele to Bridget, or just start with Bridget. So those 3 cards can help you get Bridget and get yourself 3 basics. Usually what I would get is, depending on what you start with too, you'd probably want to have about 2 Magnemites. If you have your Octillery line, get your Octillery down. Or you can even get your Solgaleo Prism, or even a Dusk main. Okay, so now for the 1-ofs. We got 1-of Skyla. Skyla for your Rare Candy, Skyla for your Ultra Ball, Skyla for your anything. Good card. Skyla into a supporter, even though it wastes a turn, but you gotta do what you gotta do. This is one thing that I was kind of iffy about too. 1-of Guzma. I cannot find room for the life of me. Like, the only thing I can consider thinking about it is a card later on, maybe, or even a Cynthia. I don't know, but I need the Cynthias for draw. But Guzma, switch both actives. You choose both. No, stop, hold on. At least stop. Come here. Stop. Okay, sorry for that. We got 1N. You don't want to use it most of the time. You're always going to be, most of the time you should be up on prize card count, and you're going to need as many cards as you need, but N is also always a good card to have. Okay, now to the items. We got 4 Ultra Ball. 4 Ultra Ball, pretty standard. Discard 2, go get yourself a Pokemon. Pretty good. Next card, 4 Rare Candy. We're going to have the Rare Candy. That's our only way to get our Magnezones, and we're going to have to get it pretty consistently, so you're always going to need 4 Rare Candy. Next card. This is a really big one that makes the deck work the way it does. Mount Coronet, a stadium that lets you get 2 medals from your discard pile into your hand. So, with that, if you use something like, for example, Meteor Tempest for 220 and discard 3, if it doesn't die, you can Mount Coronet 2, and then just try and draw into 1 more, and then you could just use the attack again. Another strategy you can do, if it's like super early on, like round 1, and you can pull this off, this is pretty good. Ultra Ball away 2 metal, grab yourself a Pokemon, and then Mount Coronet for the metal back. It's almost like Propagation Egg with the metal in that sense. But next we got those are 4 of. So we got 2 Field Blower. You kind of need 2 Field Blower because Garbodor is still running around with the Garbotoxin. Can't use any abilities. We need our abilities, and this is gonna help us with that. Also, it can do some nice disruption to our opponent, like getting rid of their stadium if you don't have yours in hand or in play yet, and getting rid of Floatstones and such like that. Just a really all-around good card. Okay, next we got 2 Fighting for Your Belt. I love this card a lot over Choice Band. Most of your attackers, if not all of them, are going to be basics, like such as Dusk main are going to be using, not usually Magnezone, Tapu Lele, Mew, Solgaleo Prism, all basics. You don't usually need the extra damage. Except, like, the only way I could see you needing the extra damage is, instead of Sogoleo's Corona Impact doing 160, this making it 170, you could do 190, one-shotting a lot more things. But it's mainly going to be on your Dusk main, giving it 230 HP body, making it hard to one-shot while you also one-shot your opponent. Next, last tool we got is a Floatstone. Floatstone, good card. A lot of things have high retreat, even though you can manually attach hard retreat and then use your stadium to get back your metal. I still like having the one Floatstone because of, might as well. They're all heavy retreaters. This is a 3 retreat. This Magnazone's a 2, Lele's a 2, Sogoleo's a 3. And then if you start with Giratina, that's a 2. You don't want to waste 2 energy on that. Excuse me. But Floatstone, a good card. Next we got 1 Professor's Letter. Get yourself 2 metal. It's a pretty good card. You're trading 1 card to get 2 metal, and that helps with the speed up process. I forgot to mention that I built this deck to mainly try, if you can, to get a turn to what is it, Meteor Tempest, and this can help with that. I can get it somewhat consistently, turn 2, but sometimes it takes a little longer. That's okay, it's to be expected, it's a stage 2. You can't go, most of the time you can't just go from, basic to stage 2 in 1 turn. So next we got Super Rod, get back your anything. If your ninja somehow knocks out your Giratina, get your Giratina back. Get your Mew back, get your Magnemite back, get your Magnezone back. Get your metal back. Most of the time it's going to be for the metal. And speaking of which, we do run 12 different, almost all different types of metal. I got like a bunch of different foiled ones and some regulars, but that doesn't matter. With this deck, I've been doing pretty well recently. I went to 2 somewhat okay-ish sized tournaments in the past week, or the past month. There's a Nick Bailey Open, which was about someone who did really well, but then he died sadly of cancer, and that's what they named, like, I think it was like a League Cup after him. And I got top 16 in it, and they gave you a cool promo. It was out of 60 people, and so I went 4-1, or 4-2. I got 16th, but this is the promo that they give you, top 16. So that's pretty nice. And then I went to like a $5 challenge, and I went 4-1, getting 2nd. And the game I lost was pretty close. I was 1 energy away. I had 1 card in deck. I needed 3 to attack, but all my energy were in discard. I had my stadium out, and I couldn't do it. I was 1 energy off away from winning, or maybe even 1 card in deck away from winning, because I could have promoted I had a bench Dusk main with like no damage on it. And I was going to be able to send it up, and could have taken a hit, so I could have doubled stadium to get the 4 energy I needed to attack. But yeah. Some advice with this deck is from me playing. Try and conserve your metal if you can. It's gonna end up biting in the butt if you discard too much of it. By the time you get to about 7 in the discard, you got to start being cautious. And but if you can pull off a Super Rod for 3 metal, you should be fine. It's a really good deck, and it can hurt Buzzwole. I beat Buzzwole like a decent amount. I say it's like about a 50-50 with like any Buzzwole matchup. Buzzwole, Lycanroc, Baby Buzzwole, almost anything. It's really good. With Baby Buzzwole, you want to use your Solgaleo and Mew, and with bigger things, you can use your Dusk main. But all in all, I like this deck. I hope to do well at the internationals. And I hope you enjoyed this deck list, and I will see you guys later. Hopefully I can do more videos. Goodbye.